Hi guys, I'm going to let you in on a little secret. This bolognese sauce is one of the most nutrient dense meals that I make for my family. We're talking iron, B12, folate, zinc, heaps of vitamins and minerals, and even a little liver powder. Not that any of my kids have ever noticed. So, if you're looking for a nutrient packed meal that will do extraordinary things for your kids on the inside, then this video is for you. So, my daughter is having a friend over for dinner tonight, and they have both requested this meal. So, I'm so excited to share with you my bolognese recipe. So, my kids and their friends love this meal, which makes me so happy inside because I know it's jam packed with nutrients and so much goodness. And every time I make it, I think this is exactly what whole food eating looks like in real life. No fancy techniques or ingredients, just a pot of something delicious that does so much good for your family. Today I'm going to walk you through the ingredients in this sauce and tell you exactly what it's going to do inside your child's body. Explain why this kind of dinner is one of the best things you can put on the table for your kids. If you're new here, welcome. I'm Nat, and I'm a mum who's really passionate about using real whole foods to support my family's health. Quick favor, if you find this video useful, please hit subscribe. I share videos like this every week and I'd love to have you in the community. All right, let's get into it. The reason I love bolognese as a whole food vehicle is you can hide everything inside. You can pack so many nutrients in. A slow cooked sauce like this breaks down all the vegetables completely. The flavors just all meld together, and your kids are going to just see pasta for dinner, but you really know what's in there. And I'm not about tricking kids forever. It's just about getting real nutrients into their growing bodies while you continue to offer vegetables openly with every other meal. All right, let's break it down. The first one is garlic. Now, before I prep anything else, if I'm using garlic or broccoli or mushrooms in a meal, I'll always chop up the garlic and broccoli first. And if I'm using mushies, I'll give them a quick sunbake, and I'll tell you why. Let's start with garlic. It contains a compound called allicin, and allicin has a really impressive antimicrobial and immune boosting properties, and it's also a prebiotic. Now, the tip you must follow is when you crush or chop garlic, do not throw it straight onto the heat or on the pan. You've got to leave it on the chopping board for at least 10 minutes first. Just let it sit there. Allicin is only produced when you chop up garlic, so when the cell walls are broken down through an enzymatic action. And that enzyme needs a few minutes to do its job fully before heat, deactivates it. So if you chop it and cook it immediately or throw it straight in the pan, you're going to miss out on all the benefits. But if you give it 10 minutes, it's much more heat stable and you can retain much more of that immune benefit. Okay, please do not throw away your broccoli stems. If you're not going to use them during the week in a meal, you can always just pop them in the freezer and use them in your bolognese sauce. We're not about food waste in this kitchen. Now, the compound I really want to talk about here is sulforaphane. Now, research has increasingly linked sulforaphane to anti-inflammatory and detoxification pathways in the body. And just like garlic, we're going to chop and stop. Sulforaphane is released after chopping, and if we wait 10 minutes or more if you can, you're going to get the maximum benefits. Broccoli is also rich in vitamin C, which we need for immune function and also for absorbing that lovely iron in the beef. It's also a good source of folate. So, 2 ingredients, same simple principle. Remember to chop and stop. Now, onto mushies. And here's something that really surprised me when I first found out about it. Mushrooms are the only plant source of vitamin D, especially if they've had any sunlight exposure. So giving your mushies a quick sunbake before cooking is really going to ramp up that vitamin D level. How cool is that? and pop them on a plate, gill side up, which gills are those little stripy things, in a sunny position for like 15 to 40 minutes. And we know vitamin D is something that a lot of kids are really low in. So try remember to sunbake your mushies first. Now, beyond that, mushrooms contain beta-glucans. It's a type of fiber that's really impressive for immune function. They also bring B vitamins and zinc. So I start by roughly chopping up all my veg first. And like I mentioned, it's always garlic and broccoli first. And including the mushies that have had a nice sunbake. Now I'm going to blitz it all up in my blender, and I think that's the key to helping everything melt through the sauce. So I'm going to give it a really good blend in the blender, and then I'll saute it off. Onions are actually a really powerful ingredient for kids' gut health. It's rich in a type of prebiotic fiber called inulin, which feeds the good bacteria in your kid's gut. And we know that a healthy gut microbiome is connected to everything from immunity to mood, to even how well your child sleeps. It also contains natural anti-inflammatory compounds. So onion absolutely has its place in all savoury cooking. So I've sauteed mine off, then I'm going to transfer it into a bowl so I can cook my meat next. Now, carrots. In a bolognese sauce, it's going to add a nice gentle sweetness that kids love and helps balance out the acidity from the tomato. It's one of the best sources of beta carotene, which is converted to vitamin A, and vitamin A is critical for kids. We're talking healthy vision, skin integrity, and immune function. And grass-fed beef. Now, I want to tell you a bit why I prefer to choose grass-fed beef, because I think it really matters. Grass-fed beef has a better fatty acid profile than grain-fed beef. It's higher in omega-3s and conjugated linoleic acid, or CLA, which has anti-inflammatory properties. But regardless of whether you can access grass-fed beef or not, beef is is a great complete protein source that you can give young kids. It contains all the essential amino acids that their growing body needs. The haem iron in beef, alongside the liver powder in this recipe, makes it a genuinely iron-rich meal. And we know this is important for brain function and development in kids. And then in with my herbs and tomato paste. Let that all fry off a bit more. Then you can add your veggie mix back in. And then it's time to go in with the sauce. Always add a bit of water into my jar, give it a good shake so I don't leave any sauce behind. And then you can go and add your bone broth. Now I've done about a tablespoon of bone broth with about 1.5 cups of water. And give everything a really good stir. Bone broth. I use this concentrate, which I can just get at my supermarket, but there's so many available out there these days. And the difference this makes to the whole nutritional profile of the dish is significant. Because bone broth is rich in collagen and gelatin, which break down in the gut to provide amino acids like glycine and proline. They're healing for the gut lining, and we know that a healthy gut is central to many aspects of children's health. Making sure there's enough liquid, and then you can go in with your 1/4 cup of lentils. They will help absorb some of the liquid and thicken up the sauce nicely. Red lentils are important if you want them to go undetected in a sauce, because they break down a lot easier than, say, green or brown lentils. Lentils are so nutritious in their own right, but adding them to a meal also helps to extend the meal a bit as well. They're a great source of plant protein, iron, they're high in folate, and of course fiber. And last but definitely not least is the liver powder. And I add a nice big heaped teaspoon to my meals. But if you're just starting out with this and your kids aren't quite used to the flavor, I recommend taking it slow and building up. So maybe just start with 1/4 teaspoon. Now, liver powder is the ultimate superfood most families never use. This is the one that I use. Again, there's many available today, which makes it very handy to source. Liver is one of the most nutrient dense foods on the whole planet. It's extraordinarily high in heme iron, the type of iron that our bodies absorb more efficiently, particularly important for growing kids. And it's packed with B12, zinc, folate, and vitamin A. For kids who are fussier eaters and who aren't getting, a wide range of foods yet, liver powder is an absolute game changer because they cannot taste it once it's blended into sauces like this. I'm going to pop the lid on and let that simmer away for hours, all day if you can. It's really going to help develop the flavors and give it a richer taste. Now, most days I'll serve my pasta sauce on a pulse pasta or a good gluten-free pasta. And the reason that I love pulse is that it's made from lentils, chickpeas, and beans, and it gives you an extra added hit of protein and fiber, and it has a lower glycemic index than, say, a regular white pasta. But today my kids have requested a wholemeal organic spaghetti. So you're going to get the whole grain, which means fiber, B vitamins and minerals, things that are stripped out of, just a regular white pasta. And it's going to keep them fuller for longer and also help to feed their gut microbiome. Okay, so that's been at least 4.5 to 5 hours. I've stirred it intermittently, but that's nice and ready now, and I can plate up. And then on top, I do a nice sprinkle of grated Parmigiano Reggiano and some fresh basil leaves. If you can source a raw milk cheese, that's even better. Okay, let's zoom out for a sec and look at what just one bowl of this bolognese is delivering for your child. You've got heme iron from the beef and liver powder, zinc from the beef, mushrooms, liver, B12 from the beef and the liver. You've got vitamin A, vitamin C, vitamin D, folate, prebiotics, collagen and gelatin, complete protein, beta carotene, and fiber. This is one dinner, one pot, and it covers so many of those essential nutrients that young kids really need. I will link my full recipe down below so you can whip it up for dinner as soon as you want. If you enjoyed this video, please check out some of my others as well. I just love to talk about real ingredients that are going to nourish our families. Subscribe if you haven't already. I post new videos every week, and remember, you're doing a good job. You're already doing better just by paying attention to what goes in that pot. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.